And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. What's up, my YouTube friends, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. Let's get it. Just do it. I don't care what it is that you want to do, just go do it. Stop waiting for people's opinion and people's approval before you start what you want to start. Because you know why? When you ask somebody a question, they look within themselves. And then they see if they can see themselves doing it. If they can't, they're going to tell you no. So if you get up and you say you want to go start your career, you want to go start your own business or something, and then you go ask a regular guy, he's going to, if he can't do it, he's going to say, no, you can't do it. So from my perspective, just do it. Because number one, all the time you spend sitting down and thinking about it, you could have literally start doing it and figure it out as you go. A lot of people tend to not want to start because they don't know that they can figure it out as they go, so they never started. So with that being said, whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. Your brain will eventually figure out ways to get it done. I've said this over and over and over and over and over again. So man, just do it. Stop asking people for their opinion of what you think of this or what you think of that, because there'll be some people that don't want to see you have it because they themselves couldn't get it, especially if they're like a lot older than you. So they're gonna say no. Like, people are the reason why a lot of people is getting nowhere, because you get up and you say, you know what, I want to go get a job. I want to go get a job. So instead of you fixing your resume and start looking around, you're going to ask everybody else, and then they're going to say, oh, which job? Oh, it's this job. Then it's like, oh no, don't work there, they don't pay that much, or they don't do this. And people are going to have everything negative to say. But when you get the job and you come forward and you say, oh, I have this job, then they'll be happy for you. So just do it, man. Just do it. You will figure it out as you go. Trust me. Stop spending all your time sitting down brainstorming. Well, not brainstorming, wasting your brain cells to think of ideas for something you're never going to get done. That's your brain automatically putting stuff together for you. And then you sit down and you never made this, you didn't make the step forward. Because you're waiting on everyone's opinion. You can't please everyone. No matter how hard you try, you can't please everyone. So if I was you, I would pick myself up and just go do it. Well, if it's something productive, I'm not saying go go to a club or go somewhere and go ruin your whole life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking to grown, mature people. So don't try to think I'm trying to say, oh, he said I should go do drugs. No. That's not what I'm saying. So let me just say that to get that out of the way. So whatever career, business, anything that you're doing productive pertaining to your life, that's what I'm talking about. Just do it. Stop waiting on everybody else. If you want to go buy a car, if you're asking everybody, oh, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? Everyone is going to have different opinion. And by the time you hear everyone's opinion, you're not going to have nothing. If that makes sense. So if I was you, just do it. Just, anything that you want, you sit down and you put all your thoughts together, and then if it costs some money, you save all your money and go get it. Because people will be happy when you bring stuff forward. They won't be happy when you're asking them for opinions. Because if you want to buy something and you go to 10 people, individual, not at the same time, all of them is going to have different things to say to you. And then maybe 8 out of 10 is going to say, oh, no, don't buy this, or no, you can't do that. Bro, listen to me. Just do it. Just do it. You're wasting your time asking other people for something that's going to benefit you. If you sit down and you look within yourself and you say to yourself, you know what? I like this. I'm going to go get it. Instead of, oh, I like this, but I wonder what everybody else think of that. Stop worrying about what other people think. Because some people will low-key hate on you just because they don't want you to have it. Especially if you want to buy a car or you want to invest in something, they're going to say to you, oh, don't invest in this, or don't buy this, don't buy that car have this, don't invest in that business over there, that business have that. They're going to have everything negative to say because they don't want you to do it. And if you're not strong mind, you're going to be sent down in the same spot because you never did it. You never make that one step forward. Stop waiting for everyone's opinion. It doesn't matter. You can't make everybody happy. If you go buy something and there's 10 people, 5 is going to be happy, 5 is going to be miserable. You can't please everyone. No matter what you do, you can't make everybody happy. You can't bring joy to everyone's life. Especially for something that's going to be beneficial to you, where you don't have to ask them, but maybe you want to ask them because you want their input on it. But their input also doesn't matter. It don't. You may think, oh, if I'm doing this, I need to let everybody know just so they can tell me what to do. No, no, no. You don't need it. All you need is your thought. If you like it, you go get it. You know how much people have seen me buying sneakers and they're like, oh, why are you buying so much? That's not your business. That's not your problem. And that's not your money. If that makes sense. Oh, you don't need to buy this much sneakers. You don't need to do this. You don't. No, 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 no. Let me tell you something. I live my life in a way. I grind hard every day. So if I go somewhere and I see something and I like it. I don't look at the price. I look at if I like it. That's what I look at, because I grind hard every day. So it doesn't matter for me how much it costs. Because if I like it, I'm gonna go get it. That's just how I see fit. There's no way you're working hard every day and you can't buy something that you really like. If that makes sense. You want to go buy a TV. You go somewhere, you see a TV for $500 or $600. A good size that you can put in your bedroom. You can't buy it and you like it and you're working hard. I don't believe nobody should be working hard and you can't buy something you really like. So with that being said, if you're working hard every day and you want to go buy something and you need someone's opinion, you're the problem, not them. Because you shouldn't need someone's opinion, because if you're working hard, you should be looking in within yourself to say, you know what? I like this and I'm going to go buy this. People will only be happy for you once you have achieved it and once you brought it forward. So say you want to go buy a car. You're asking everybody, oh, what you think of this? Funny story. When I bought my first car, I used to be the same way. And then I was like, you know what? If I keep asking different people for different opinion, I'm never going to get a car. So I sit down and then I brainstorm, and then boom, as soon as I saw one that I like, I go get it. As soon as I got it, I bought it, I brought it. Everyone's like, oh, this car looks so nice, blah, 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 blah. See what I'm saying? So it's sort of the same thing. People will only be happy for you when you brought it. Because when you're asking them for opinion and advice, they're going to say to themselves, oh, this car is two-wheel drive. We live in Canada, you need four-wheel drive. My car is two-wheel drive. And cars that have four-wheel drive, I see them more in the ditch than me. Remember, I don't know if you guys watched the video I posted the beginning of this year, when one lady hit my bumper from behind. That was an SUV 4x4. So it doesn't really matter whether you got 4x4 or 2x2. Doesn't really matter. It's the driver behind the steering wheel. So with that being said, it's all about what you want. Because in Canada, people always say, oh, don't buy a car, buy SUV, don't do this. That's just the mentality that they developed. Because I got a car. And my car is even more reliable than other people's SUV. And it's not the car is the problem. It's the tires you got on there. So with that being said, you can have a normal car, and if you got nice winter tires on there, you won't slip as often as everybody else that have 4x4. Because that's how that girl slammed in the back of my car. And she got an SUV. So you see where I'm going? So it doesn't really matter people's opinion. People only will say to you what they think. So if you want to go buy a car, they're going to say, oh, don't buy a car, buy an SUV. What if you don't like SUV? What if you like the car that you're showing them on? What if you have the money to buy it? Then you're going to have doubts and negativity within your brain that you don't want to buy it. Especially if you got 3 people telling you the same thing. Oh, I don't like the color, but the color is too bright, so don't buy this. What if you like the color? What if it was something that you were waiting for? What if it just popped up and you're like, you know what? I like this car and I like this color. And then you have somebody else saying to you, oh, don't buy this color, or don't buy this car, buy SUV. Listen to me. Stop listening to everybody else. Stop asking people for their opinion for something that's going to be beneficial to you. Just do it. Because everyone is going to have everything to say before you bring it. You want to go start a career. Don't listen to nobody. They're going to say, oh, you can't do it, or don't start because of this, and don't do this, and don't start because of that. They're going to have everything to say. But you see, the moment you start to make that step forward, then they're going to be gravitate to you. Because number one, when you're doing something, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you understand it. So with that being said, stop asking people for their opinion, because if you keep asking people for their opinion, you will never start. And say you want to start your career, or you want to do something with yourself, and you make the step forward, people are going to be gravitate to you, because people only gravitate to those who look like they know what they're doing. If you keep asking people different things about something that's pertaining to you, you look like you have no idea what's going on. So they're going to say to you whatever they think in their self. So they're going to say, oh, you know what? I can't do that, so I don't think you can do it. So they're going to say to you, you can't do it. But what if you have the potential to do it and you didn't do it because you were asking them? If that makes sense. People only gravitate to those who seem like they know exactly what they're doing, and they don't need nobody else to say, oh, do this. People gravitate to those ones because they're not asking no question. Because if you're fully confident in what you're doing, you wouldn't be asking a bunch of questions. Oh, so what do you think of this? Or I want to go buy this shoes. What do you think of this shoe? No. You buy it, and then you bring it, and then you ask them, oh, what do you think of this? And then hear the difference. So I dare you, if you're the type of person that always need people's opinion and approval, I dare you, one day, instead of asking them something, just go get it, and then ask them when you already got it, and see if you're going to hear the same thing. Because you can ask somebody something right now and say, what do you think of this? And they're going to be 100% honest with you. But when you bring it, it's a different story. Because if you ask somebody something, they look at if they like it and if they can do it, or if they can't do it. Then they provide an answer for you based off how they think about themselves. So I strongly recommend, whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. Just do it. You're wasting your time waiting on everyone's approval. That's why you never started. And I think that's the main reason why a lot of people never started nothing. Because they keep asking people, oh, what you think of this? What you think I should do this? No. Don't ask nobody nothing. Do not ask nobody any question. If you like it and you're passionate about it, you get up and you go do it and get it done. Like I always say, your brain will figure it out as you go. Let me tell you a story. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. So if you go inside a car and you never driven a car before, and you go in there and you stand on the steering, hold the steering, you will never learn how to drive. If that car is in park, you will never learn how to drive. No matter how much time you go like this with the steering and pretend that you're driving and making sounds like when we were kids, if you don't put that car in drive, you will never learn how to drive. That's how it is. But guess what? So when you pull the car from park and you shift that in gear and put it in drive, and then the car starts trickle, then you'll be focusing on steering, if that makes sense. So that's you learning how to drive. You don't know which one's the gas or the brake. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to feel it out. You may press the gas first, and then you may speed up, and then you bump the brakes. You may bump the brakes, and then you go like this, and then you're like, okay, that's the brake, so this one must be the gas. You will literally figure it out as you go. Our brain was designed to do that. If you're interested in something, you will figure it out as you go. And just from me talking about the car, I hope you guys visualize what I was saying, because I could literally see a picture of what I was saying. So you're driving. Then all of a sudden you know which one's the gas now. So you keep pressing and pressing and pressing. And then you're steering. You're looking at, you're checking your mirrors. That's you learning as you go. A lot of people learn as they go. But if you had that car in park, and then you're asking everybody else, oh, you think I should put the car in drive? They're going to say, can you drive? No? Okay, don't put it in drive if you don't drive. If you can't drive, sorry. If that makes sense. Or some people may even sit next to you and say, okay, if you can't drive, then we can just relax in the car for a bit. But if you can't drive, then don't need to take it out of park because you can't drive. It's all about the risk. because you will figure it out as you go. And the reason why a lot of people didn't figure out nothing or they are nowhere, that's because they never did it. They keep relying on everyone's opinion. Everyone's opinion doesn't matter to you. It don't. You may think, oh, I need somebody to tell me this before I could do it. No, 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 no. That's where you go wrong, because that's like them putting a leash on you and controlling what you're doing. And a lot of people can probably see that you have the potential to do something, but the reasons why you are where you are, that's because they stop you from reaching it. A lot of people can literally sit down and say, you know what, this person have intelligence to figure this out, but I don't want them to be better than me. It's all about who's better than who. That's just how life is, and that's just where we live in. And people just have to accept the reality that that's just how it is. The moment you always trying to reach out to somebody and trying to ask them for something like, oh, do you think I should do this? Unless it's your parent, the only person who's going to give you a true advice would be your parent or a close family member or a close friend. But sometimes it still have to do with you. So I would strongly recommend your parent have the best advice to give you. Because your family and close friends may say the same thing, because they're going to look within themselves and then they're going to say, well, you know what, I don't think you can do it. Or let's say you want to go buy a car and that car costs 10 grand and you have the 10 grand. They're going to say, why are you going to spend so much money to buy a car when you can finance it, or you can get one cheaper, or you know what I mean? But what if you wanted the car? What if you saw a car for 10 grand and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to work hard every day and save up all my money, and then when I reach 10 grand, I'm going to go buy this car. And then when you hit 10 grand, then you're asking friends, oh, you don't need to buy a car for 10 grand. You can buy one for 4 grand or 3 grand. But what if you don't want those old ones? What if you want the one for 10 grand that you saw? What if you save to buy that one? The same thing with a phone. You can see a brand new phone for 2 grand, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go save my money up, and then I'm gonna buy this phone. Then you're asking friends and a bunch of different people, and then they're like, why are you gonna spend 2 or 3 grand on a phone when you can finance it and pay $100 or $150 a month? But what if you don't want to buy an on hire purchase? What if you don't want to finance it? Then you're going to go down and sign everything up, and then you're going to pay monthly, and then you're going to be miserable because that's not what you wanted. Come on. Just do it. You don't need everyone's opinion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You may think it does because you want, say, validation where you need them to say, okay, let's all of us sit down and talk about you. No. No. You shouldn't live your life like that. You don't need people to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Because if you're grown, you already know right from wrong. So if you want to do something a certain way, why are you asking everybody else when they're going to say to you, don't do it the way how you want it? They're going to say, do it this way. If you notice, if you ask somebody something, they're going to give you a bunch of excuses that was different from yours, because they already know yours. Because you're going to go to them and you're going to say, oh, I want to do this, but I think I should do it this way. You notice it's never the same thing. When somebody gives you their opinion, it's never the same thing that you said. It's always something different. So you're sitting down fighting a battle back and forth within yourself, because you're saying to yourself, you know what? Especially if you don't know what's going on, or you're not sure about what you want to do, then you're sitting down and you're like, I have the money and I want to do it this way, but that person's telling me to do it the other way. So before you notice, you're going to end up with nothing. So with that car, you're not going to have that car. You're not going to have it because you want to buy the car for 10 grand. You already have the money all saved up. You like the color, but somebody else is telling you, oh, finance it. Don't buy that color. Buy SUV. Don't buy that model. Don't buy that the brand of car. Buy something else. So you're going to sit down and you're going to have your 10 grand sitting down looking at it like, so confused. And then at the end of the day, the only person that's going to be carless is you. And before you know it, the other person that you ask for their opinion, they're the one that drive off and they go home. Or you want to move in with someone, or you want to move and get your own crib where you live by yourself. You're going to have everybody. Oh, you don't need to live with a roommate. The roommate is just there to pay half of the bill, and then they will move out and leave you. And if you want to go live with yourself, it's going to be more expensive. People are going to have everything to say. But what if you can manage to live on your own? You know what I mean? Like some people rather live with a roommate because the roommate is basically there to pay half of the bills. That's just it. That's why most time if you go to somebody's place and they have a roommate in like their living room area, there's no like say TV there. There's none. So a roommate is just there to pay half of the bills. But what if you don't want somebody in your space? What if you're saying, you know what? Instead of me paying $500, I can rather pay the $1,000 and have everywhere for myself. If that makes sense, because I'm the type of guy I would do that before I go live with somebody and pay $500 or $600. I'd rather pay the money in full. That way, I have the whole apartment for myself, so I can still make videos. I don't have nobody telling me, "Oh, you're making videos again," or "Why is your ring light so bright?" or "I'm trying to sleep and you're talking." You know what I mean? So me, I would prefer to live by myself. But what if you can't afford to live by yourself? What if you can? And then you have everybody, oh, don't do this or don't do that. No, it's all about your comfort. It's all about what you want. And the more time you spend asking people for opinion, is the longer it's going to take for you to get what you want. And that's the main reason why a lot of people are getting nowhere, because they keep asking people for opinion. See where I'm going? You're going to have everybody saying everything that you don't want to hear. Trust me. I've been down that road before when I was younger. You want to do something, you're asking everybody, everyone's going to tell you, no, you can't do it, or don't start, because don't do this. And they're going to have everything to say. But it's up to you. If you're not, say, strong mind, then you won't really get what you want. Because you will find yourself in the same spot, and then you're fighting a battle back and forth with yourself, because you're saying to yourself, you know what, I want to do this, I can't do it, I can do it. But this other person is telling me I can't do it, or I shouldn't do it, or I'm wasting my time. If you think you're not wasting your time, why are you listening to somebody else? Why are you listening to somebody else? Because I know for a fact, you probably thought it all the way through if you're the type of person like me, where you thought it through and you saved the money and you're ready to make that step forward. And then all of a sudden you got somebody else, oh, don't do this, or you shouldn't do that. You don't want to hear that, because I'm like that too. If I'm ready to make the step forward, I don't want to hear nobody say nothing to me, because I already thought it through. And like I say, it's only when you bring it, then it will be a different story. If you keep on asking for opinion, oh, you think I should get this, or you think I should get that? No, why? You don't need no one's opinion. You don't. You may think you do, but you don't. You're probably asking because you're not sure within yourself. You're not confident. But when you are confident, you don't need to ask them any question. You work hard and you save your money up. Why are you making somebody else tell you how to spend your money? Just do it. You'll figure it out as you go. The only reason why you think you can't move forward, or you think you haven't had the other step to make, yeah, you don't know the other step. That's because you didn't make the step forward. You didn't make the first step. So if you don't make the first step, your brain won't waste its energy trying to figure out the second step, because you're not at the first step. So when you make that step forward, your brain will figure out how for you to make the second step, then the third step, then the fourth step. That's just how it goes. But the reason why you're sit down and you think you can't figure it out, that's because you didn't make the step forward. If that makes sense. Because a lot of people always sit down and they complain, oh, people hate me because of this and this and this and that. Why are you telling them your business? This is one of the reasons why I think I have a video that say keep your moves private. And this is why I made that video. You see, when you are trying to do something and you start telling everybody your business, then they start tearing down whatever you're doing. I already sums up that in that video, so I'm not going to spend too much on that topic, because I already did a whole video pertaining to that. But when you keep telling people what you're doing, they keep crushing it. That's why I made that video. Keep your moves private. It's better, because people will tell you you can't do it. I think that's one of the reasons why I make that video. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I make that video. So just do it. Just do it. You don't need no one's opinion, approval, or validation. Just do it. Because the more you ask around and the more you want somebody to tell you, say, oh, do this or do that. It's different when you need advice. If you need advice, don't tell them what you're doing. If I was you, you should just say, oh, what you think of this, or what you think I should do here, instead of telling them the full plan. Or you should say, oh, if you have 10 grand, would you what kind of car would you buy? Or what kind of car did you have for your first car? Or when you moved in for your first crib, how was it? One bedroom, two? That's how you ask for advice. Not coming with something and say, oh, I'm trying to get this, what you think of that? Because sometimes people will look at it and say, you know what, this is really good, but I don't think you should have this because this is better than mine. That's where that comes from. That's why they say, no, you can't do it. If that makes sense. So there's a difference from you asking advice, and there's a difference for you coming with your stuff and showing them. Don't show nobody nothing. The best thing to do, if you're not sure and you're not 100% confident, just ask them, what would you do if you have this? Or what, like ask them questions about them, not pertaining to you. That way you can get a better understanding. Because a person is going to say, you know what? If you ask them, oh, uh I like this car, but this car for my first car is 10 grand, it's a nice car, and blah 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 blah. And then you're like, oh, what was your first car? They're gonna say, what? My first car was probably a 1998 car, and I bought that car for $500, and that car broke down everywhere I go. And they're gonna look at their first car and compare it to your first car. Then they're gonna say, well, you know what? I don't think you should get this. You should probably get one cheaper. See, same thing as I just said when they want you to get something cheaper. Oh, why are you buying this? See, same thing. So you can find out the person's opinion in a different way based off how you ask them. That's just how it is. You never bring your business forward and ask nobody what they think of this, because they're going to be crushing your dream. They are dream crushers out there. All they do is they just sit down and wait for you to come forward to say, you know what, I'm trying to do this, but I can't figure this out. And then when you go to them, they're going to look within themselves and they're going to say, oh, you came to me? You're not going to have nothing. And keep coming to me, because I can keep crushing you and keep stopping you from elevating. So, yeah, don't get this. And if you have any more problem, you come directly to me. Next time you want your own crib, you go to them. They're like, you know what? I live with my mama for 30 years, so you don't need to move out. And you don't need such a nice crib. Or you want to go buy sneakers or whatever. Oh, why are you buying the sneakers for that much money? You don't need that sneakers. Buy sneakers from PLS or Walmart or Superstore. See where I'm going? No. Sometimes it's the people that you're asking for opinion. Sometimes they're the ones that are stopping you from elevating. You may not know it and you may not see it, but they're the reasons why. So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Just do it. Just do it. The reason why you're getting nowhere is because you're asking everyone else for opinion. That's why you're getting nowhere. So if you didn't know then, you know now. I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. I will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.